Welcome to the River Cities Cup, the derby between Louisville City and FC Cincinnati. And what a beautiful night for the beautiful game from Slugger Field in downtown Louisville. You see the records for these sides. There's a bitter rivalry here. Along with Matt Bennington, I'm Dave Lamont, and we talk about the importance of this match. Louisville's got games in hand in the Eastern Conference. Cincinnati has been steady lately and, of course, still participating in the U.S. Open Cup.
It's a great rivalry game. Throw the records out the window because it is a rivalry game. But Cincinnati, they're trying to cement their place in the top 8. And Louisville, they're going to try and get back into second position.
Player to watch tonight for Cincinnati, it has to be GB.
It has to be GB. He offers so much for FC Cincinnati. Into space, behind the back line. He is devastating with his speed. As you can see, he's devastating with his right foot. Eye for goal, 9 on the season, leads the team. He is a real handful for the opposition. The
top point man for Louisville this year has played well against Cincinnati. That's Brian Ownby, who has 4 goals and 3 assists.
A magical player, good with both feet. He'll play on the left, he'll play on the right, he'll play in the middle. He can play wherever he wants. He's got a great left foot, very dangerous on the dribble. And again, as GB is for Cincinnati, Ownby for Louisville is a real handful.
Yeah, that goal there, one of the finest in the USL this season. A beautiful left-footed strike by Ownby. So this match really sets up well. Louisville, one of the best defensive teams also in USL, having surrendered only 12 goals all season long. And this is the 11 from FC Cincinnati.
It's a fantastic 11, and you got a great goalkeeper in Hildebrand in net for FC Cincinnati. McLaughlin and Wiedemann also a great up top as well.
And for the home team tonight, by the way, might get a record crowd at Slugger Field tonight. Illich up top, and there you see Ownby. And this bunch here, very good defensively.
A very good defensive unit. They play very compact. And the field that they're playing on tonight, their home ground, is a very tight facility, so it makes it a little bit easier for them to play that defensive, compact game that they like to play.
Yeah, if you aren't aware, Slugger Field is the home of the Louisville Bats, a Cincinnati Reds farm club, so things are going to be a little bit different than your typical soccer pitch tonight in a soccer-only stadium. Great crowd going to be on hand for this one. Going to see a lot of purple and a little bit of the orange and blue, too, when these sides meet next.
Sí, somos los número 1 en todas las camionetas RAM, en todos los modelos. 235, 2500, 1500, como tú la quieras. Aquí en Preston Highway.
Commonwealth Dodge, home of a lifetime powertrain warranty. Guts, glory, Ram.
Hi, my name is Susan Rademacher. I'm one of our HR managers here at the Louisville Specialty Center. Parallon is one of the healthcare industry's leading providers in revenue recovery. We need a lot of people to help us do that, and that's why we need you.
Hi, I'm Rashawn, and I'm a support specialist. I've been at Parallon for 16 years, and why do I love it? It's definitely because of the people.
We value your opinion, and we push to promote from within. We work hard, and we have fun.
The best nights turn into mornings, and fast foodies know the best mornings start with a gourmet breakfast. But leave the mimosas for the early birds. Cause now you can get a garlic buttery steak burger with shaved steak, melted Swiss, and savory garlic butter on a seasoned beef patty. All before the sun comes up. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. The garlic or original buttery steak burger for just $1.99. Checkers and Rallies.
The official burger of the Louisville Cardinals.
There's a new TV show here in Louisville you need to check out. It's Hey Kentucky. But you know the NCAA, they're going to make some, it's going to be like an Abraham Isaac sacrifice.
Hey Kentucky, we are here in Nashville at the George Jones Museum with the possum and some people behind us, and we're going to talk about the UK game.
Here's what we do. We talk about all the news of the state. That includes Kentucky basketball, but also politics, entertainment. Whatever's going on, we give it to you. 10 o'clock every night, WBNA, Channel 21.
Escúchame, familia. Con este maquinón podrás aprobar un buen sazón. Tenemos todos los modelos de este año 2017 aquí en Commonwealth Dodge en Preston Highway.
Commonwealth Dodge, home of a lifetime powertrain warranty. Guts, glory, Ram.
As expected, a spirited group tonight. This is the first time these sides have met in Louisville, and the Louisville City has not beaten FC Cincinnati either in USL play and they drew 1-1, or in the U.S. Open Cup where Cincinnati won 1-0, and FC Cincinnati was due to play earlier in the week in Miami, but that game was weathered out and has been rescheduled for August the 2nd. You see Louisville in the purple kits, Cincinnati, and there's GB right there, number 9, the player to be watched. 9 goals on the year, including the one we showed you earlier, a spectacular strike in the early going against the Richmond Kickers. Our referee is Marcos de Oliveira, and we are underway. Plainview Apartments brings us this portion of tonight's broadcast, the official housing partner of Louisville City.
Official broadcast partner, helping bring all 32 games during the USL season.
Greg Ranjit Singh, good look at him. We mentioned Louisville has a +10 goal differential this season. They've surrendered only a dozen in 15 matches. But GB breaks through early. And an excellent defense on the tackle there by Paco Craig, number 18 in the purple. But this is going to be an early threat for FC Cincinnati with a corner kick coming up.
Well, it was almost a view of the goal we showed in the pregame package, but for that important tackle by Craig, putting that one out for the corner kick. Great recovery by the defender.
Well, Cincinnati started early and often against the Kickers at Nippert. What a great stadium for the game that has become, and what a big advantage it is for Cincinnati. They pack that place. They come out low, and it'll be cleared by the back line, and now a throw-in coming up for Cincinnati.
Not a good service there. Didn't beat the first defender. Anytime you have a set piece, Dave, you want to beat that first defender on the ball played into the box. It didn't happen on that attempt from McLaughlin.
Now McLaughlin will handle the throw-in. Eventually, he'll go into the box, and that's going to be wiped out pretty easily by Abend. Also joining the Oliveira, the assistant are Benjamin Hall, Volpenheim, and Paul Terry, and the fourth official is Johan Podolski.
It's going to be interesting to see how the two teams match up. Louisville play a 4-2-3-1, whereas Cincinnati trying to find Ombi in the box, but just drifts out for the goal kick, Dave. Cincinnati, FC Cincinnati play a 3-4-3 lineup. So it'll be an interesting battle in the midfield, 5 against 4.
Got a good look at Mitch Hildebrand, as Matt mentioned earlier, an outstanding keeper, goals against average exactly 1 per game, and he has 5 clean sheets on the season for FC Cincinnati. They're in 6th in the East, Louisville 3rd, and another big advantage for Louisville is they've only played 15 matches. That's one of the lower totals in USL. Now that's going to change soon. They're going to have a very hectic September, but they can look at it very optimistically and try to gain some ground on the teams ahead of them in the standings.
Two sides of the coin. They're rested as you head towards the close of the season, but as they go into postseason play, the players will be fatigued because they have to make up all of those matches that they have in hand at this juncture.
Not as bad as Orange County. I was looking at it earlier today in the West. They've only played 11 matches. Go check out their August schedule. When they start playing twice a week, every week in August, their depth is going to be sorely tested. They may make a run into the playoffs, or they could just have a complete collapse. That's going to be a real challenge for them.
Well, it's a challenge physically for the players, but it's also a challenge from the coaching standpoint as well, because you have all of this practice time, and then all of a sudden that practice time has gone away. So you have to revamp the way that you work your weekly schedule. It's a real challenge for everybody.
You can see, if you're not familiar with the pitch here at Slugger Field, as we mentioned, it is a baseball stadium primarily. Actually, one time the former home of the Louisville Cardinal football program. So they cover the infield dirt with an artificial surface. Otherwise, as you would guess, Kentucky bluegrass covers this pitch. And if you're wondering why you're hearing some booing for a call that went in favor of the home team, there is definitely going to be a Cincinnati presence here tonight, given these two sides are not that far apart geographically, if you did not know that. They have busloads, actually, of the orange and blue supporters. So it's a really spirited group. Might even have an attendance record for Slugger Field and the USL tonight. Working to Ownby wide. Pretty good service in the box, came out wrong, and that's just a half volley that's going to go well over the net, and a goal kick coming up for Cincinnati. Fans, you can stay up to date on the latest USL news and information from around the league by tuning into USL Coast to Coast with Mike Watts, Mondays at 7 Eastern on Sirius XM FC, Channel 85. And don't forget, Sirius XM FC will air the USL Game of the Week, and all you have to do is go to uslsoccer.com for dates and times. That call going to go in favor of Louisville.
I've seen Cincinnati with the 3 forwards up top are able to put a lot of pressure on this Louisville back line, prevent the back four getting consistent and good, clean possession, not allowing time to get the ball up the park. You see the hit and hope. Ends up finding Ownby on the right flank.
Cincinnati can strike very quickly. GB very fast. We've already seen him get ahead of the defense one time, and he will draw quite a bit of attention, undoubtedly, from that Louisville back line, which is a difficult group to penetrate against. Ownby again on the attack, looking to serve to the middle of the box. Sliding tackle made there, and a call and a handball, and we're going to get a penalty kick in the 7th minute for Louisville. Looked like Delbridge might have been guilty of a handball.
Looks disbelieving. Walker is unhappy as well. That's the danger of Ownby getting deep into the attacking third down the right flank, cuts inside and then plays the ball back across, trying to find a teammate around the penalty spot. Defenders sliding around, trying to make sure that they block the cross coming, and the referee adjudged that it was done so with the hand, Dave.
So Illich was standing over the ball as if he will be the one to strike the penalty kick against Hildebrand.
See Ownby penetrating in, and it looks like it was Delbridge who left his feet sliding, and the ball was adjudged to have hit his arm as he went to ground.
So Illich against Hildebrand. Chip, cheeky little chip that time by Illich, and Louisville's on the board.
Takes a lot of courage to hit a penalty kick like that. You better put it in the back of the net, Mr. Illich, but you did just that with your right foot. Mitch Hildebrand's not going to thank you for that cheekiness, but the Louisville fans will. A little dink as Hildebrand goes to ground, looking to his right for the save. The ball goes to the goalkeeper's left.
That wouldn't have broken a pane of glass, but it goes in the back of the net. That's all that matters, and Louisville takes the early lead in this one as the smoke is up.
I say, if you're going to hit it like that, you better make sure it goes in the back of the net, because if it doesn't, your coach is going to give you all kinds of trouble on Monday morning.
Yeah, you are confident in your ability when you do something like that instead of what most folks do, which is just blast away, pick a side. Reynolds and GB going at it there for the moment, and now Cincinnati in trouble again here as Louisville on the attack. That's the second tally of the season for Illich.
Always brings into question as well why goalkeepers pick a side when they're facing a penalty kick. I've seen so many kicks go straight down the middle of the goal. If they just stand there, they'll save probably about 50% of the ones they face.
Try to just react, I guess, when they see it kick, but it's probably taught that way. And that call now going in favor of FC Cincinnati. Of course, Cincinnati also has on the bench a very dangerous scorer, and Koenig. He and GB usually do not play together, but they do have capability when we come into the substitutions to keep an eye out here, and that flag is up, and Ownby will lose the opportunity.
Just offside as Illich went up for the headed ball forwards.
Well, Ownby has been a severe pest in the side of Cincinnati so far in the first 10 minutes of this match, creating the goal for Illich, setting up the penalty kick with a handball against Delbridge. About 2 or 3 times he's already penetrated deep into the Cincinnati back line. And a good start now here for Cincinnati. Ballard, and just missed. Sneaking it away from Hildebrand, who came off the line and had to. Smart play there by Hildebrand.
Well, Barry, the outside back for FC Cincinnati, got goal side of Ballard very nicely, and then called for his goalkeeper to come and claim it. A little bit missed timing on that play, and it almost allowed the Louisville player into the attacking third and a goal scoring opportunity.
Well, Ballard again, he has a couple of goals on the season, sneaking into the box. Ball is available there, heel pass, and that will belong to Cincinnati on the throw, and in a collision there, and down is Boehner. It didn't appear to be a foul, but he's shaken up. That's just run of the play there. A hard fall, though.
That's run of the play. It doesn't feel any better knowing that it's just run of the play.
I don't think I can walk up to him right now and say that and have him smile at me. No, I agree with you there, Matt. Yeah, easy for me to say sitting in a chair. And GB got a piece of that. Someone got a piece of GB, so the call will go to FC Cincinnati.
And Walker there over the top of GB. Barry taking his time on the set piece. Up until this point, FC Cincinnati have been looking short and quick.
Again, they're trying to get to GB, and you can see Sean Reynolds, number 15. It seems like wherever GB goes, Reynolds seems to be following him.
Yeah, and I've noticed that Craig and Reynolds are definitely hanging around where GB is. GB does tend to stay rather central in the park, so it makes it a little bit easier for the 2 central defenders for Louisville to do that. But certainly one or other will be giving GB all of their attention as much as they can. Terrible distribution there from the goalkeeper, Ranjit Singh.
Yeah, that's like snap hooking your drive 100 yards into the woods off the tee. And it's going to give pretty good position here on the pitch for FC Cincinnati. Cincinnati can be very explosive at times. They've had an up and down season, doing extremely well in the U.S. Open Cup. They're the only United Soccer League team alive, and they have a chance to get to the semifinals against the New York Red Bulls of MLS if we finally get the match against Miami, a side that did a great job in the spring in the North American Soccer League. They were all set to play on a Wednesday in Miami, but the weather was just prohibitive, and that match delayed until August 2nd.
I sat down at my computer on Wednesday night to watch the game, and it never came on, but we all know why now, because of a huge thunderstorm.
Oh, it was awful weather. Yeah, they could have probably started that game at 3 in the morning, but it wouldn't have been very popular. That appeared to be off of Ownby and should be a goal kick. And once again, Ownby being allowed to penetrate into the back line of Cincinnati.
So often, as you'll see with a player, Ownby, he's naturally more gifted with his left foot than his right foot, so he plays down the right flank to cut inside, and then he has those shooting opportunities with his left foot. But as you'd expect players of this ability, he's pretty adept with both feet.
Possession almost exactly 50-50 in the early going. Virtually no difference between the two sides. There's a great tackle. Second time now we've seen that defense work well, and that's Abend. And a throw-in coming up for Cincinnati. That'll be Boehner, who's recovered nicely from that collision. Looking for GB. He lost his balance just a bit. The throw was past him anyhow. And they're almost clicked with a pass to GB, but Louisville will intercept. That's Justin Hoyt, 32, in white. Is there a danger, Matt, of relying too much on one player in the case of FC Cincinnati? As we see distribution into the box and an aggressive play, the ball is free, and GB will pick it off and score. We'll get back to that point after the person we're talking about celebrates his goal.
Well, the celebration this time against Louisville was a little bit nicer than the previous one in the previous matchup, but the goal was just as good. Ranjit Singh looked like he had that cross curtailed. It came down and dropped the ball right into the path of GB, who makes no mistake with his right foot, turning on a dime and putting it into the back of the net.
All the difficulty they had, Matt, in trying to find him and all the marking they were doing, Louisville City, but then the mistake that time, the keeper unable to hang on to a difficult chance, and GB knows exactly how to pick up his 10th goal of the season.
Now, Ranjit Singh, I mean, it was gift wrap for GB. He still had a lot of work to do to find the ball, be patient enough to allow it to come down so he could volley it into the back of the net. Good skill from the number 9 from FC Cincinnati. Had to show a lot of patience, but also a lot of urgency because the players were congesting in on him.
Well, it was a good little touch from Ownby, trying to get it to George Davis IV, number 22 in purple, but it did not quite connect, and it'll be a goal kick for Hildebrand. Just the 13th goal surrendered by Louisville this season.
And to go to your point about relying on one player, yes, it is dangerous to do that as far as the team is concerned. And it's great to have a star, but the supporting cast have to be aware of their role in supporting that star player. If you just pass it to GB and watch him work, then the team is not going to be successful. FC Cincinnati have done a pretty good job of getting in and around him so that he is able to play off of players and receive passes 2 feet or into space, which is what his strength is.
And they do have goal-scoring capability on the pitch now. Wiedemann has a goal this year. McLaughlin has a goal. Delbridge, Hoyt, they have goals. So they have people who are capable, but obviously GB, as you see, in the 16th minute, picked up number 10, is still the main focus of this attack.
And the other thing that the team has to realize is that if GB is getting all of the attention, just like in basketball, if you're facing a double team.
Davis here with a chance, and Hildebrand well off the line. Very aggressive and a smart move there.
That was a smart goalkeeping there. But GB has to realize if he's getting the double team, if, say, in basketball, you're driving in, you're getting the double team, you know that there's a player open to dish that ball off to. And that's what GB has to realize in the game of soccer, is if he's getting all of the attention, he has to have the heads up to be able to pass that ball off and not only get involved in the goal scoring by putting the ball in the back of the net himself, but also to get the assist.
Ownby chips it over the goal, and another goal kick coming up from Mitch Hildebrand. He's Matt Stubbington. I'm Dave Lamont. Slugger Field in the United Soccer League, a bitter rivalry, this River Cities Cup. Knotted at 1. Soccer fans, Nike is an official sponsor of the USL, and for more information, just visit NikeSoccer.com. Ideal conditions, by the way. Temperature kickoff in the low 80s, and it'll pretty much stay there. It's not going to rain. You can say that with some confidence, which at sometimes around the league this time of the year you can't always say. More pressure now from Ownby. He gets it back after a layoff, trying to create some space. Collision just outside the box. Both players down. We play on. And now the referee's whistle. It was Ownby in a collision.
Probably was Hoyt that was the defender in the collision.
And the trainers have come out. You see Ownby's head there, just outside that of an official. He's sitting up. And you are correct. It is Hoyt who's shaken up. 32, kind of rubbing his head a little bit. And remember, no, it's actually
it's 22.
22.
That's Barry.
Austin Berry. Our apologies. That's the captain, Austin Berry. I've been getting some advice. James O'Connor, the head coach for Louisville. We're 8 wins and 5 draws on the season with 2 defeats. Making sure there's no cuts or anything. I don't see anything there on Ownby. Now, whether they're going to have to take them both.
Well, they'll both have to go to the sideline because the medical staff came in and attended to both players.
Although, you know what? Take a look around his mouth. He might have taken a shot around the jaw or the mouth. So Ownby will leave and Berry will leave. Yeah, that does look like.
That's not his beard gleaming red there. That is blood coming from his lip.
So they'll wait for permission from the referee to come back into the match. I looked around his forehead at first for blood, but there you see. So in the hometown of Muhammad Ali, they certainly understand the value of a cut man. So we'll see how good the Louisville cut man is. See if he's an Angelo Dundee and as good as the great Angelo Dundee was as a trainer. Just happy that you see Ownby already standing by the 4th official who keeps saying, "Hey, you got a little something there," and nope, Ownby not allowed back in yet. The concern again with the bloody lip. Can't really bandage a lip though. I'm not sure. They're still tending to him. You can see there until the 4th official is satisfied. The blood has been contained, and he has signaled that Ownby's ready when the referee will wave him in, and now's a good time to do it.
I think he just waved him in before the ball went out of play, looking at the official.
Going to GB. Looks like he wanted to give a little touch to McLaughlin. Didn't quite work out. Now Bone. Again, they're trying to find GB. He is just surrounded in a sea of purple, but it's blocked toward the keeper. And this time, Ranjit Singh, knowing the trouble was lurking, jumps on that ball.
He'll be thankful that he didn't throw it onto the foot of GB like he did last time. I think GB was trying to find McLaughlin, as you said.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my.
He just hooked another one.
Are we going to compare that one to your golf game as well, Dave?
That was like a 50-yard snappy. Yeah, and the funny thing is, like in golf, that gets in your brain a little bit, and it's easy to repeat that. Even if you have sound mechanics, it's easy to repeat that.
I'm a little bit worried about your golf game. You keep talking about hooking the ball off the tee.
Yeah,
maybe we should.
I've seen a lot of people do it. Let's just say that. Most importantly, I've seen me do it. But it's like anything else. It gets in your head.
It does.
And so we'll keep an eye on Ranjit Singh's kicking for the rest of this half as Ownby traps with the chest. Beautiful little drop off there.
Well, distribution is such a huge part of the game for the modern goalkeeper, and it makes such a big difference to what your team is able to do if you have confidence in the goalkeeper's ability to play the ball with his feet.
I don't know if they're going to reach the attendance record tonight. We'll find out hopefully later on during this match, but this is a fantastic crowd at Slugger Field. Very spirited for this match. The foot race between Reynolds and GB. GB hits the turf, trying to save it, and looks like he succeeded. Throw-in coming up here for Boehner.
Such a big thing for a forward, not to give up the chase. You might end up with a possession in the attacking third for a play in the run of play, but conversely, you do that, you end up with the ball in your possession on the throw-in. I wasn't able to do anything with it because of Ownby's good defensive presence there for Louisville, but it's so important for the forwards not to give up the chase, make things difficult for the defense to play the ball out.
So Ranjit Singh, last couple kicks have been not his best. We'll see if he can come up with a good one here.
Well, he just pulled his socks up, so let's see what he can do.
Oh, that was it. It was the socks, because he ripped that one. Put a little pressure on Cincinnati now to GB, who's got a little bit of room to work. And Ranjit Singh makes the only play available, gets rid of it very, very quickly. A little pressure from McLaughlin that time, but not enough to cause a problem for the Louisville keeper. Very bright day, and it'll be interesting to see as the shadows begin to develop how these sides handle it. Should be very interesting when they come back out for the second half.
Well, FC Cincinnati are playing into the sun. See from the shadows, it's from the right-hand side of the field a lot of it. Also, Hildebrand isn't looking directly into the sun, but it certainly will be a distraction from any lofted ball from his right.
And you see Polak shaken up after that collision. And a booking, a yellow card against Louisville. It was a nasty collision, the trainer being called for here. Polak in considerable pain. Take a look at this collision here. Well, it just got twisted. That didn't look natural. That could be some cause for concern.
It was the trailing leg of the player sliding through the back of Polak that caused the issue. Certainly when you slide in from behind, it isn't a good thing. You've got to get, always going to concede the foul in today's game.
So Kyle Smith gets the yellow card. And James O'Connor getting the explanation on that. Just a normal tone conversation. But certainly concern here with the injury to Polak. Yeah, that looked very awkward. The legs got tangled. And he is still getting tended to. Let's see if he's able to put any, if he's going to be able to continue. Struggling a bit. And this may force Alan Koch to go to the bench earlier than he wanted to.
I think it may actually be number 3, Bone, the central midfielder for FC Cincinnati. And if it is, then it'll be a huge miss in the central area of the park for FC Cincinnati. If you look at the fans and the crowd that made the trip down from Ohio.
Well, nobody going to we're not seeing the scoreboard come up, so it looks like he's going to go ahead and try to play through it.
He was on the sideline. The athletic trainer was walking him towards the corner flag, so we'll see.
There he goes. No, you're absolutely right, Matt. As Polak is struggling with, I don't know if he's going to be hauled directly to the locker room. And he is going to be taken out. So we will have a substitution here for FC Cincinnati. Josu, number 99, has come in from Girona, Spain. So an early substitution forced by injury. Josu is in.
I apologize. I got my numbers wrong. You were right. Here's Polak. Bowen is still out there.
So there you see the substitution, and no coach likes to do that in the first half. They always love to save those 3 subs for the second half when they can use them in tactical rather than by injury. At least Pollock was able to put some pressure on that, whatever is a knee or an ankle. That's a little bit of a good sign that it may not be severe, but he'll certainly get attention in the locker room.
Yeah, I think it probably was the ankle, the way that trailing leg came through. I got the player's number wrong, but my point was still valid. That
Yes,
it's going to be
was.
a huge miss in the center part of the field for FC Cincinnati. Is such a huge part of what they do in the central midfield area.
And work it now here to Wiedemann, who worked it over to, this is Bone right here, number 19. And Louisville will try to flip the field here. And good control that time by Illich, who has the goal and a penalty kick for Louisville City FC. You see Abben there at the bottom of your screen, or make that more at number 6, calling for the ball. He was open on that left flank, but they didn't acknowledge it. They've been dangerous down this right-hand side, though. Service in the middle of the box, and that almost paid off. Throw in coming in very quickly for Louisville. Del Piccolo, the captain. Del Piccolo with it again. Just a little leave and a miscommunication. There wasn't anybody there, and Cincinnati can counterpunch. They'll go long for GB. He's got his shadow with him, Reynolds. A little handsy between the two of them, but nobody gained an advantage there, so we'll play on. 32nd minute of this River Cities Cup derby. And an interception, a tight passing broken up. And that's just going to be overcooked. The USL is one of the most prominent second division professional leagues in the world, featuring some of the game's top talent and rising stars. Stay up to date with all the latest league news and information by visiting USLsoccer.com, and do what we do, follow them on Twitter at USL. All the teams, by the way, have Twitter accounts. They're very active, so that's another way to follow your favorite side if you don't already. And this is going to chip in and be saved off the line. Onby thought he had it. And Hildebrand with a save from way out. And he'll try to ignite a counterattack very quickly for FC Cincinnati. Unbelievable play on the line by the defense for FC Cincinnati.
It was a fantastic run by Onby, staying onside, coming from deep. Lovely touch to get the ball from the defender and around Hildebrand. But fantastic defending to clear that ball off of the line at the last ditch effort. I think it was Delbridge that got the ball off of the line.
And GB stepping over Ranjit Singh. He'll go for the distribution to Paco Craig, who had a big tackle early in the match that may have kept GB off the board, although he did get on the board with his 10th goal, the equalizer. And headed back to Hildebrand very cautiously.
Nicely done by Boehner. Find his goalkeeper, difficult ball to handle, especially with your goalkeeper looking into the sun.
Yeah, I've even seen guys wear a ball cap sometimes to deal with the sun. Well, obviously Hildebrand has chosen not to do that. But let's go back to what could have been.
So it was the timing of the run was fantastic from Onby. He was clearly onside. Just tipped it around the goalkeeper. And it was actually the substitute, Josu, that kept that ball out of net, tracking back from his midfield position. Fantastic effort from him. And then Hildebrand, in the end, made the save off of the ensuing play. Great play all around, a fantastic run, a great touch by Onby, and then Josu just wanting to keep his team tied at 1-1. tracking the run back and clearing the ball at the last second.
So Ranjit Singh gets on that and distributes very quickly in his 35th minute. Possession favoring FC Cincinnati, almost 56 to 44%. And they'll switch to the right side into the shadows. And Reynolds and Craig working in the back line. Now they'll try to move forward to Morad. Every time Ownby's involved, there's a long strike and not really a danger to Hildebrandt, but space was there and he's just going to crank one from a long way out.
Davis, the fourth there, looked up, saw that the back line had dropped off of him, had space in front of him. Just leaning back, didn't lead the foot through the ball with the knee, and consequently the ball sailed harmlessly over Hildebrandt's goal.
And a yellow card coming out right away. I don't think the home crowd's going to be too happy that George Davis IV got hit with this yellow card in the 36th minute. At first glance, the foul didn't seem to be that egregious, but the referee was very quick to pull the card.
He went to his pocket very, very quickly, as you say, Dave, and I have to agree with you. In the run of play, it didn't look like anything really was terrible there at all.
So that's the second yellow card against Louisville FC. Smith having gotten one earlier for that collision that drove Pollock out of the game. Bones got some room, and that room closed very quickly. Nice job there by Reynolds. Looked like Bone might have thought about cranking one from just outside the box. And the Louisville crowd gets something they were waiting on.
I like that set piece that FC Cincinnati just took. They had a lot of players running into the box, forcing the Louisville back line to retreat. And then the header came back to the top of the box for a trailing player in Bone. Just wasn't able to corral the ball and control it nicely enough to be able to do anything with it. But the thought process on the set piece itself, I thought was fantastic. Just wasn't quite executed well enough.
Well, fans, you can stay up to date on the latest USL news and information from around the league by tuning into USL Coast to Coast with Mike Watts, Mondays at 7 p.m. Eastern on Sirius XM FC. That's channel 85. And don't forget, Sirius XM FC also airs the USL Game of the Week. And to find out where that can be found, it's USLsoccer.com. Dates, times, everything you need to know. Also, you go to USLsoccer.com, you can vote on Goal of the Week and Save of the Week. So you can get involved. Louisville will get the throw in there, taken by Morad. Oh, that's a good ball. Switched from left to right. Little room here now. Struck. Wide. I'm not sure if couldn't tell in the traffic if Hildebrandt got a piece on that, and he must have, because we're setting up for a corner kick. And this is a tight corner in this baseball field for Louisville to work with, but they're used to it.
The crowd thought it went into the back of the net as it rippled the side netting. Good save by the goalkeeper. Players in purple were queuing up to have an attempt on net.
Left foot in swinger toward the far post. And that looked like Hoyt got a piece of that with the head. And that will be the opposite side we'll go to.
And this is the side of the field that it'll be a challenge for the defending players. And looking up into the sun.
And of course, it makes perfect sense the way this is constructed to use a left footer for these corner kicks with so little room. You see Hoyt clearly touched it. Nobody else in purple did. They'll try again. And I think Hoyt was in there one more time. We hear a whistle and a call against Louisville, so Cincinnati will get it back.
Push in the box there, called by the official.
Earlier today, we had Rochester and Ottawa draw at 1. And Charlotte defeated New York Red Bulls 3-2. And also in full time, Pittsburgh and Bethlehem a 1-1 draw. And Vancouver Reno a 1-1 draw.
Charlotte Independence continue their good form. I was able to watch that game, and they were a little bit fortunate at the end because Red Bulls too had their chances throughout the match that they didn't take. But after about the 80th minute, they started to take their chances and really put the Independents right up against it until the final whistle.
Breaking through again, Louisville in the box, taken down, no call, says the referee. We play on. There's a strike blocked.
Nice sportsmanship there between Hoyt and Omby. Mutual respect between those two players.
They'll try again to work to that right side. Chipped in, but not nearly close enough to be threatening. Easy head out there for the Cincinnati back line. Hornby in the box, just magical, fires, and it's just a little high.
Beautiful footwork from Omi, a little Maradona turn on top of the ball. Somehow keeps it alive. There's the drag back turn with the right foot. Shoots it over the crossbar, just barely.
Well, that was a great look at just how close that was to, at the very least, striking the crossbar, which could have changed a lot of things. Hildebrandt, a little past midfield. Louisville's had the control the last few minutes, and that should be off of Boehner and belong to Lou City. Gives us a chance to remind you that Nike is an official sponsor of the USL. And for more information, just go to NikeSoccer.com. Bone. That's a little give and go. McLaughlin back to Bone. Bone. Shot. Save. Ranjit Singh got it with his legs and was able to control it and go the other way. And suddenly we've had two excellent chances from each side.
Wasn't the cleanest save that Ranjit Singh will ever make, but it was an important save. A lovely combination play with Bone getting up the pitch.
Yeah, GB's pocket got picked there, much to his dismay, by Craig. Illich got a piece of it. And they'll go ahead and play it back and start over.
Well, it was Craig that was trying to keep pace with Bone as he entered into the penalty area, and I think Craig is a little bit fortunate that Bone was able to get the shot off, because I believe if he hadn't, the referee might have blown for a penalty kick.
Stoppage time announcement should be coming shortly. 2 or 3 minutes is probably a good guess, given that we've had the training staff come out a couple of times so far. And that went out. So a little bit of a mistake from Ranjit Singh that time, leading to a throw-in.
He's not much better with the thrown ball than he is with the kick ball.
Well, he's had an interesting time back there, yes. He's had a couple of hooked goal kicks, and that one came off a little oddly and allows Boehner to throw it in here for FC Cincinnati.
Be an area of his game he's going to have to shape up with, because Dobrovolsky, who started the season, played very well in net for Louisville. There's some competition between those two for the starting job, and if the distribution of Ranjit Singh doesn't improve, then it wouldn't surprise me to see Dobrovolsky back in net.
GB called for that foul. Louisville City will try to take advantage of that and quickly attack, but instead they retreat, and GB forechecking a little bit too. That doesn't help, and Ranjit Singh having to chase that down. That doesn't help. Gets off a nice kick there, though. Man, a little push from behind called on Morad. Not a popular call. with James O'Connor or Morad.
Referee indicating to watch your mouth, otherwise I'll have another talking to with you, Mr. Morad.
Take a look at Josu, who's come in for the injury to Polak and ended up with the defensive play of the game for the orange and blue. Saving a goal on a little chip by Ownby. Ranjit Singh collides with his own teammate, but no effect to either player. And we'll get our stoppage time announcement here in a moment.
Much better for Ranjit Singh, cleanly claiming that ball.
And 3 minutes stoppage time added. So Ballard making a run there, forcing Josu to play it back more quickly to the goalie than maybe he first wanted to, just to kill a little bit of time. And Ownby has been dangerous from the first whistle. That's a tough play to make in the air to try to keep it into play. They do, but with about 2 minutes remaining, Cincinnati, good little give and go there, trying to get it to GB, but he overran it just ever so slightly. And Ownby, I think, probably offsides anyway. So pretty even as we get set. About 90 seconds remaining. Louisville, and the call going against them. And that's going to be argued. You see the captain armband on Del Piccolo. He'll get the right to discuss that with Marcos de Oliveira, the referee.
He didn't like the call that went against him, and letting the referee know that. Again, it seemed a little innocuous, but the man in green has the whistle in the middle, and his decision is the important one, and it goes against Del Piccolo.
About 30 seconds remaining, give or take. And that's going to be just a little bit too far for Richard Ballard, who has 2 goals and 2 assists on the year for Lou City. Tried to work it into GB for maybe a miracle if he could have broken through. And that'll do it. 3 minutes of stoppage time it is. So we go to the dressing rooms, knotted at 1. A PK by Illich put Louisville City up 1-0 in the 8th minute. But GB 8 minutes later counters with his 10th goal of the year in the 16th minute. And that's why we are knotted at 1. Great crowd on hand at Slugger Field, and mix between the two sides in this River Cities Cup rivalry, a derby between the purple of Lou City and the orange and blue of FC Cincinnati. We'll be back with our halftime festivities in a moment.
Box combo, please.
At Raising Cane's, we do one thing, and we do it better than anyone else. So why not let our food do the talking?
Love in the window.
Raising Cane's, only the best chicken finger meals. One love.
Pizza, beer, sports. A great combination. Join other sports fans at Boomba's Pizza and Tap House in Louisville, where you'll find what Food Network says is the best pizza in Kentucky. Incredible game day and social hour specials starting at just $2. With an award-winning menu and one of city's best local craft beer list. Just one bite, and we know you'll love it so much, you'll come back time and time again at Boomba's Pizza and Tap House, your social sports destination.
When my hair is too long, I don't feel right. But when I get a cut, I'm me again, only better. My tattoo gets feistier. My crazy eye snaps to attention. I become my own Wi-Fi hotspot.
I just downloaded the entire internet.
And trust falls? They don't even scare me anymore.
That pomade really broke my fall.
Get in, get out, back to greatness. Download the online check-in app. Great clips. It's gonna be great.
The heat is hot. You should have some adult beverages when you go with the heat.
We come here pretty much every Friday now. We've been here several times and we love it.
Everything is fantastic, sides and all.
Chicken and waffles, it's excellent. It's the best place you can get it.
It's so hot, you actually get a buzz from eating this.
You come get takeout that tastes like something you cook at home. That's what keeps me coming back.
Well, there you see some of the FC Cincinnati supporters who made it to the drive, maybe even the bus trip down for this derby with Louisville City, and we are even at 1-1. Along with Matt Stubbington, Dave Lamont, halftime here. And, you look at statistics, it seems appropriate that this match is equal in the score.
Well, I mean, it is equal in the score. It's pretty equal in the possession. And the shots is a little bit surprising. I thought FC Cincinnati had a few more chances. They've been dangerous in around the box, but haven't really got the shots off that maybe we would have thought otherwise. But 2 on target is also important. Louisville City, though, we've seen lots of opportunities from them, 4 on target. So again, as you said, Dave, it's an even match. It's been a well-played match and a great treat for the fans.
The yellow cautions going to Smith and Davis the 4th for Lou City. They've also had one injury as Tyler Pollock unable to continue being injured in the 30th minute. Josu has come on and actually ended up with a defensive play of the first 45 minutes, getting rid of what could have been an easy goal for Ownby, who has been magnificent for Lou City. But instead, his speed knocked the ball just before it crossed the line to go into the back of the net. Highlights in our next segment coming up. And you'll get to see our 2 goals, and who knows what else we'll put together for you. 1-1 at the half.
Soccer teams in attendance this evening. Baptist Health, Central Kentucky Storm, Georgetown.
We built the USL into the largest Division II professional soccer league in the world. And now the time has come to announce USL Division III. America's professional 3rd Division League, completing the U.S. pro soccer landscape. It's time for your town, your team, your game. D3 will fuel local pride and local passion, creating a new legacy for the beautiful game and inspiring its tribal following across the country. This is professional soccer, built on a disciplined financial model and operational excellence, featuring exciting venues to thrill fans in hungry new markets yearning for the game. USL Division III, professional, passionate, proven. Pro soccer starts here, coming in 2019. For more information, visit USLD3.com.
I see the future is really bright for me. The high school diploma is just added to the confidence, and now I feel unstoppable.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
The opening half of the 2017 USL regular season has seen 2 teams emerge at the top of the Western Conference, with Real Monarchs SLC and San Antonio FC engaged in a duel for conference supremacy and potentially the USL regular season championship. San Antonio broke out first, putting together a 14-game undefeated streak, which which included a 672-minute shutout streak to start the season. But the Monarchs' USL record 9-game winning streak, led by Sebastian Velasquez, has moved Real's new-look squad into the top spot as a showdown at Toyota Field on July 22nd closes in. The top of the Eastern Conference has also seen a clearly defined top two, including Louisville City FC, a finalist in the Eastern Conference final the past 2 seasons, pushing for another high finish in the standings. City's hard-driving attacking group, led by Brian Ownby, Niall McCabe, and Cameron Lancaster, has thrilled packed houses at Slugger Field so far this season. But leading the pack is the Charleston Battery, whose 25th anniversary season features an attack that more than lives up to the club's cannon-bearing crest. Led by Romario Williams, the Battery lead the USL in goals, with the likes of Forrest Lasso, Justin Portillo, and Atula Guerra providing a strong supporting cast at MUSC Health Stadium. Williams' success has placed him in a duel with Reno 1868 FC's Dane Kelly in the race for the USL Golden Boot, the two Jamaicans producing some highlight reel finishes on their way to double-digit goals before the end of the first half of the season. Kelly's run of scoring in 6 straight games helped expansion side 1868 FC up the Western Conference standings. Currently well positioned to take its place in the USL Cup playoffs, Reno follows in the footsteps of the likes of FC Cincinnati in 2016, Louisville City FC in 2015, and Sacramento Republic FC in 2014 in finding immediate success on and off the field. Poised to join that group in 2018 is Nashville SC, which has already built an impressive front office and hired former MLS Cup winner Gary Smith as the first head coach in the club's USL history. With more expansion news expected in coming weeks, the conclusion of the 2017 season not only provides more on-field highlights to thrill fans, but also set the course for the USL into the next decade as it continues to raise the bar across the board.
One all our score, Louisville City FC and FC Cincinnati. Folks are checking their phones for the highlights. Don't bother. We'll have them for you in just another moment or two when we return. Oh, you know what? We've returned. We'll do it right now.
Well, the highlights started early in the match. Ownby down the right flank, penetrating into the attacking third, into the penalty box, crosses the ball. Delbridge goes to ground. And you see right there, it hit his right arm as he slid in for the challenge. And look at this cheeky penalty kick with his right foot.
And that
Lou
City goal brought to you by the Kentucky Lottery. There's a beautiful view of it right there. Fueling imagination, funding education, Kentucky Lottery. However, you see the GB no bite sign? Turned out that was not right.
Well, it was Rajic saying he had a poor attempt at corralling that ball as it came off of the cross there from McLaughlin. Dropped the ball onto the foot of GB, and a player of his quality isn't going to make a mistake. He spins on a dime, puts his right foot through the back of the ball, and lofts the volley into the back of the net to tie this match at 1 apiece. This was a fantastic opportunity. Lovely control there by Ownby. He thinks it's in the back of the net, but Josu had just checked into the game to replace the injured Polak. Manages to track the run back, gets to the goal line and clears the ball off of the goal line before it crosses for the go-ahead goal. And Hildebrand, the goalkeeper, was able to make the save on the ensuing play. And Rajat Singh had a fine save to make up for his earlier mistake that led to the tying goal. Beautifully down, a little bit lucky with his legs, but in the end he made a fine save.
So as James O'Connor walks off the pitch, his squad 1-1. Spirited evening at Slugger Field in downtown Louisville. And we are ready for the second half. We'll see what the technical changes will be, if there are any made at halftime. Cincinnati already had to do it as Josu has come in, as we mentioned. And so we'll see what the plans are as the second half ticks on.
Sí, somos los número 1 en todas las camionetas RAM, en todos los modelos. 235, 2500, 1500, como tú la quieras. Aquí en Preston Highway.
Commonwealth Dodge, home of a lifetime powertrain warranty. Guts, glory, Ram.
Bring your business vision to life with an entrepreneurship MBA from the University of Louisville. Learn from faculty who are experienced business innovators and develop your ideas with the backing of successful and supportive alumni. An affordable investment in your career that helps you to become the entrepreneur you always knew you could be. The Entrepreneurship MBA at the University of Louisville. Take your first step today. UofLMBA.com.
Louisville City FC on WBNA 21 is sponsored in part by
Commonwealth Dodge, the Tri-State's #1 Dodge Ram dealer, home of a lifetime powertrain warranty. Guts, glory, Ram.
Fast foodies know the best mornings start with a gourmet breakfast. And now you can get steak and beef with savory garlic butter, all before the sun comes up. The buttery steak burgers for just $1.99. Checkers and Rallies, the official burger of the Louisville Cardinals.
There's a new TV show here in Louisville you need to check out. It's Hey Kentucky. But you know the NCAA, they're going to make some, it's going to be like an Abraham Isaac sacrifice.
Hey Kentucky, we are here in Nashville at the George Jones Museum with the possum and some people behind us, and we're going to talk about the UK game.
Here's what we do. We talk about all the news of the state. That includes Kentucky basketball, but also politics, entertainment. Whatever's going on, we give it to you. 10 o'clock every night, WBNA, Channel 21.
Escúchame, familia. Con este maquinón podrás aprobar un buen sazón. Tenemos todos los modelos de este año 2017 aquí en Commonwealth Dodge en Preston Highway.
Commonwealth Dodge, home of a lifetime powertrain warranty. Guts, glory, Ram.
That's just a beautiful evening to enjoy this game. Ideal temperatures both for the spectators and for our players. Take a look at the upcoming schedule. First off, for FC Cincinnati, and of course to take on, they got 3 home matches in a row coming up: Harrisburg, Rochester, and Orlando. But in between the Rochester and Orlando games will be a trip to Miami for the U.S. Open Cup. Then they will get the rematch at Louisville City August 12th, back at Slugger and Red Bulls 2 on August 19. And again, they have a chance to make the semifinals of the U.S. Open Cup, and they would take on New York Red Bulls from MLS. For Lou City, at St. Louis on the 22nd, then Red Bulls 2, Charlotte, FC Cincinnati, the rematch on the 12th, and Bethlehem Steel on a Sunday, August 20th.
Section 115 for more information.
Now, the standings we talked about, and one of the things, Matt, I mentioned at the top of the show is Louisville sitting in a pretty good position here with only 15 games played.
Well, they have games in hand, and that will stand them in good stead going towards the close of this season. Charlotte Independence leapfrogged them today with their earlier win against the New York Red Bulls 2 team, sitting there in 9th place. So Louisville City, if they can win this match this evening, then they'll go back up into second. So that'll be something that they'll want to try and achieve. Obviously, 3 points at this point in the season is all important.
And you see Cincinnati there with a devilish record of 6-6-6 through 18. Over in the Western Conference, the big story there, the Real Monarchs with just the 2 defeats. San Antonio's only lost 1, but those 6 draws, including one last night with OKC's Energy, a great comeback for OKC. Big 7-point gap. And those teams relatively, there's Reno 1868, what an explosive side they are. But the Western Conference appears to be dominated right now by one team.
Oh, that's such a good team, and good defensively and good offensively as well, and a very balanced team of the Real Monarchs.
The Roughnecks with a 2-point advantage over Rio Grande Valley, but Rio Grande Valley, RGV, they do have the 1 game in hand. And Phoenix, 2 games in hand on Tulsa and just 1 win, 3 points behind. So the sides are retaking the pitch. We'll see if there be any tactical changes. Just 2 substitutions left for Cincinnati following an injury suffered in the 30th minute by Polak. He was replaced by Josu, whom you saw save a goal just before it crossed the line. Along with Matt Stubbington, I'm Dave Lamont. Gorgeous night in Louisville, the Bitter River Cities Derby. And next week, by the way, there'll be a watch party for Louisville FC fans. It'll be at Boomba's Craft Pizza and Tap House at Westport Village at 1315 Her Lane in Louisville. That's 8:30 kick on July 22nd. Looks like from that bunch right there, that looks like the same unit. Illich, who has the goal. He's not going to play, though he'd love to.
Maybe one day.
And the definition of fresh legs right there. He could run for 90 minutes without stopping.
Probably a little bit more besides.
Just ask his parents.
Maybe one day he'll be taking the pitch. That's the great thing about the game of soccer and the way it's being developed in this country at the moment is that those youngsters have the opportunity to play at many different levels now, and it's something that in my time in this country it's developed. And wasn't not so long ago that the only opportunity for players in college was with the national team.
Yeah.
And now with the MLS and now the USL and North American Soccer League and other leagues around the country and the talk of the third division with the USL as well, it's just lots of chances for these players to play. It's fantastic to see.
And taking a quick look at that huddle there, it doesn't look like any changes made there by Alan Koch at halftime.
I'd be interested to see where Joe Sue lines up, because I thought he'd slotted more into the midfield area after Polak had gone out injured. But towards the end of that first half, I thought that FC Cincinnati may have put him more into the back line and maybe changed their tactical lineup. So it'll be something I'll be watching as this second half gets underway.
Now mostly shadows. And that's going to be a break for Ranjit Singh. He'll have a little bit of sun to deal with. And we're just waiting on the referee. Maybe he's a big Europe fan and wants to hear every note of the final countdown before he starts the match. And we go. Fantastic crowd on hand. Still waiting to find out, and usually they'll announce attendance in the second half if we do indeed have that record. $10,000, a little over 10,000 when these teams met at Slugger Field a year ago, and that is the record. Now normally they try to squeeze 8,000, and they can do that comfortably, but there is talk that we may get a new mark tonight. And USL having drawn already over 1 million in 2017, and we have a long way yet to go in this season. We're barely past the halfway point. Still have August and September and even into October. So a banner year for attendance for the United Soccer League.
Well, it's just fantastic that the fans are coming out in those numbers, and the league is supporting that by building soccer-specific stadiums as well.
Oh, look out there. That was very dangerous and almost mishandled by FC Cincinnati. And we're going to get very early on a corner kick opportunity here for Lou City. Well, there's going to be a big party. We'll tell you a little bit about in a moment about a stadium rally. But right now we need to focus on this Del Piccolo Lou City corner kick. The left footer looks like we'll go with an outswinger here. Now he's got all the room in the world. Short corner to Ownby. And he got just a little strong on the foot, but it still will belong to Louisville City.
First touch let Ownby down there. Good defensive presence, though, from Bone to chase the runner.
And the pressure stays on. And they'll try something a little different as GB stalks the ball for a little bit. Get his legs loose for the second half. He has the FC Cincinnati goal. Illich on a PK has the goal for Louisville. Leaves it for Del Piccolo. Let's go with the left foot. Looking for space. A lot of effort there by Ballard. And they'll work it back. Smith wants it, he'll get it. In the middle, Illich with a touch. Trying again, spins. Cannot get through. Fans wanted a handball. They're not going to get it. It's Justin Hoyt stiffed Louisville that time, and a call against Lou City, and Cincinnati survives a rocky 90 seconds.
No members bounce there for Louisville in the box. Very congested. Lots of FC Cincinnati players blocking the passing lanes, and the ball just didn't fall for Illich to get a shot off. Coach O'Connor doesn't like it.
He was looking for a whistle to go in his favor, and instead it went against his side. Big matchup from the first half continues again. Sean Reynolds in purple, GB number 9 there in white. 10 goals on the year. Reynolds has been given that task to try to keep GB quiet. And really, GB's first goal was a bit of a fluke. The opportunity was, not the strike, but the opportunity was a bit of a fluke, a misplay by the keeper. And GB, that's just like handing somebody a $100 bill. He knew exactly what to do with it.
Yeah, the goalkeeper very disappointed with that effort. See him coming back from the half-time break, and Illich had his arm around the keeper, and friendly words in the ear, and basically saying, don't worry, we'll get it back.
There's Bone for FC Cincinnati, drops it off to Josu. And Josu has it back, being haunted there by Ownby. And get it past to Captain Del Piccolo. A little bit too strong that time for Wiedemann. But Cincinnati keeping the pressure on. McLaughlin. And they'll try to go wide this time. Toward the goal. And a harmless effort. Difficult angle there for McLaughlin to try to get ahead on that cleanly.
That's a nice little sequence there from FC Cincinnati. It all started with a defensive presence and effort from Bone. A good ball played out to Boehner on the right-hand side, ball in, and Wiedemann just wasn't able to get any purchase on the header to threaten the goal of Ranjit Singh.
Well, he just flat fell down that time. It was Austin Berry, but it ended up not costing them.
Struggling with that surface that's covering the infield.
Trying to get it in now, Illich. Just trying to lay it off for Ownby. A good idea, but Cincinnati read it well.
Just undercooked the pass a little bit.
Ownby back into play. And Del Piccolo, that would have been a difficult shot to get on goal with the head, and he instead kind of leaked out to his left. I mentioned the stadium. Now, on the 20th at Copper and Kings Distillery, Butchertown will be painted purple as the Louisville FC Butchertown Stadium rally will be held. Mingle with players and members of the ownership group and enjoy music, food, and drink. That's Thursday, July 20th at Copper and Kings Distillery. And it will be exciting for Lou City to get to a soccer-specific site. Although I do admit I like a quirky challenge every once in a while, Matt. I kind of enjoy the oddity of playing in this kind of stadium. And we have a foul here. We might get our first yellow against FC Cincinnati, and it will be indeed handed out. I believe that's Corbin Bone who will be carded.
Always enjoy the ironic cheers from the fans. Yellow card going the way of Luke against FC Cincinnati, but in favor of Louisville.
You can find new roads at your nearest Select Kentucky and a Chevy dealer.
So Del Piccolo generally takes these, the left footer, but it also looks like Davis is back there too. Or excuse me, Smith. The referee satisfied now, and we'll go right-footed into traffic. Kind of a letdown there.
Very much so. Never cleared the first defender.
looked like the player just sort of lost his balance and fell down in his own, and Cincinnati will try to go the other way quickly. McLaughlin lays off to Bone. They'll work it wide, almost lost. And they'll have to sort of rejigger the whole formation to start again.
Nice skill there from Boehner to flick that ball to himself to keep things alive.
Josu looking for GB, and it was instead intercepted by Paco Craig. However, this should be and is going to be a corner kick for FC Cincinnati in the 54th minute.
How important was that touch from Craig? He knew GB was lurking. Great ball played in.
In swinging here with the left foot. Headed on, and a goal! Delbridge with the flick of the head, and FC Cincinnati leads 2-1.
I love the ball played into the near post area on corner kicks, and that's why it's so difficult to defend. Delbridge able to get up highest and flick that one into the far post. And Davis the fourth, who was stood at that post, had no chance to head it out of net. A great finish from Delbridge, a wonderfully accurate header off of a very wonderfully accurate cross from the corner kick from Josu.
So Josu should get an assist. Delbridge will get his second goal of the season in the books. And after trailing 1-0, FC Cincinnati has taken a 2-1 lead. Now trying to play a through ball. Ownbeach seemed to sort of get lost in the traffic there and was not where Smith thought he was going to be.
I wonder when Coach O'Connor will go to his bench. He's got a very dangerous goal scorer, Cameron Lancaster, on the bench this evening. He's a very high output, this Lancaster. Scored 4 goals on the season, but in limited appearances.
Well, no changes made by Lou City so far this evening. Tried to drop it off for Illich. It's intercepted, but taken back by Smith, but he lost it over to GB. Now a pass here ahead, chest trapped expertly by Wiedemann, who just slipped, plain and simple.
Crowds on the far sideline won't let him forget that one.
I'm seeing some water come up now when the players are kicking. You'll see every once in a while a little bit of water will come off of this pitch. Yeah, they watered at halftime and they laid it on kind of thick. And that always makes it a little more difficult for the keeper sometimes on those low shots that might skip a little off of a wet ground.
I mean, the water the field to cool the grass down a little bit and soften up the turf a little bit, but I mean, the amount of water that's standing is surprising.
There's a strike. Wow, that was a dangerous, dangerous blast from Davis the fourth.
Well, in the first half, Davis the fourth had an attempt from distance that he leant back on and the ball went up and over the crossbar. This one, he got everything behind it and everything over it and just wide of the left-hand upright as we look at the net. Fantastic strike. Hildebrand was struggling if that had been on target.
Ranjit Singh for Lou City. We haven't seen too many accurate long distance shots. That one was wicked, just off the target a little bit.
FC Cincinnati willing to just sit back defensively in their own half.
Ownby kind of ran over Josu a little bit. Josu shaken. A touch. Get a good look at our referee for tonight's match. Marcos de Oliveira. Josu will survive. A little shaken with his wrist, however. It might have fallen awkwardly on that. And of course, you lead with your wrist sometimes when you fall. Yep, you can see there. That's going to sting a little bit.
I think Ownby might have stamped on his hand as well, which wouldn't have made it feel any better. Defensively, when things are set up with Ranjit Singh having the ball for Louisville City, the FC Cincinnati team just dropped back defensively, pretty soft in their attacking half. They'll pick up the pressure once Louisville City get into their attacking half. See right now, GB directing traffic. So essentially what FC Cincinnati are trying to do is just condense the space, condense the field.
Trying to get through to Ownby, but instead it's a little bit too far ahead of him, and an easy scoop for Hildebrand. The USL is one of the most prominent second division professional leagues in the world, featuring some of the game's top talent and rising stars. Stay up to date with all the latest league news and information by visiting uslsoccer.com and follow them on Twitter @USL. Danger here, and Louisville able to control. Here's Smith. Has a yellow tonight, along with Davis the fourth, and now for FC Cincinnati, Corbin Bone received a yellow in the 52nd minute.
Been impressed with GB's ability to win the aerial ball driven forwards from his back line tonight. It wasn't an aspect of his game that I realized he was quite so adept at.
Pass through here, just a little bit too far. It was a chance there for Kyle Smith. Overcooked just a touch. Still available for Cincinnati: Nicholson, Quinn, Stevenson, Dakers, and Koenig. Toch, Jimenez, McCabe, Speedy Williams, Lancaster, and Spencer for Lou City. And GB got pushed. Referee ruling advantage there, and Cincinnati ball.
And there he is again, winning the aerial ball driven forwards from Hildebrand.
Well, he's a big target and knows positioning very well. You can see that. Kenny Walker, who has 3 assists on the year for the blue and orange. Chipped into the box. Collision. Yeah, both players going for the ball. It's going to be a goal kick, and that down there is Delbridge, and quickly calling for the trainer. As Delbridge, who had that beautiful header just a few minutes ago. And it looked, might have even been the two heads meeting, trying to go for the ball.
The ball came in off of the free kick, and yeah, definitely head-to-head collision there. Craig and Delbridge. Didn't feel good for either player, and the referee indicating that he wanted the training staff on immediately.
Well, it's good to see the trainer down there in the black shirt with a smile on his face. So it looks like Delbridge is not too badly shaken. And it looks like Delbridge will have to be sent off, waiting for the referee's permission to come back in. He might even have to go through a quick concussion protocol, potentially.
Well, the athletic trainer was just asking him if he could stand on either leg individually and keep his balance, so maybe that was the protocol.
Trying to work down that right-hand side to Smith. Opening here. Laid off, looking for Illich. It's blocked. Great passing in close, but Cincinnati's back line was equal to the task. And that will be coming up for Lou City, another corner kick.
Beautiful, intricate passing. George Davis, the fourth, looked like he was shaping for the shot, but he saw that Illich was in a better position. Made the pass, but FC Cincinnati's back line of Hoyt, Delbridge, and Berry were able to clear the danger.
Del Piccolo into traffic. Headed away. And Lou City will start over. Ownby, too much. Ooh, look out there. Awkward fall for Ownby.
See that ball just skip off the surface with a little bit of moisture that's on there from the halftime sprinkling. Didn't allow Ownby any chance to catch up to that ball. It didn't check in any way, shape, or form with the backspin. It just spat off the surface and out of the playing area for a goal kick.
And you see there, Ownby controlled it for the moment. All the way back to Reynolds. He'll switch to the left side, to his left. Oh, good touch there. See the effort by Ballard, but Cincinnati steady on the back line in this half. And now GB's got a little room. If he could get there first, he could not. Reynolds very calmly, not intimidated by GB, was able to direct it away from the dangerous striker.
Again, FC Cincinnati just dropping off defensively into their own half, trying to condense the space and make it very difficult for Louisville to find any room to maneuver on the attack.
Seems like we spent quite a few of the last several minutes in this area. Cincinnati very calmly handling all of the threats so far. But if you're Lou City, you've got to be a little worried about a counterattack here.
Well, with GB's speed and certainly the way that FC Cincinnati are playing at the moment, it lures you into a false sense of security. You're only having one player to defend up top. You start throwing those outside backs forwards, and then all of a sudden you got a ball over the top and you're trying to chase the white number 9 as he faces down your goalkeeper.
Tough trap for Smith, a little bit high for him, but he will get it back as Delbridge cleared. Soccer fans, Nike is an official sponsor of the USL. Just visit NikeSoccer.com for more information. Illich, oh, that was a clever idea, just didn't quite pan out. Tried to heel it over to Davis the fourth. Del Piccolo maintained control for Lou City. They'll try again. Illich now chipping for Davis. A little flick and just getting a hand on it is Hildebrandt, and it'll be another corner kick for Lou City.
As condensed it is in the attacking third for Louisville, it's going to take a little bit of magic to unlock that back line. It almost happened there. Davis the fourth running onto the chip ball, but what a magnificent save from Hildebrandt.
So Del Piccolo.
Substitution coming. So it might be Illich that's going off.
He was all set up right in front of the goal, and he ran out of our picture.
Louisville City substitution. Entering the match,
Cameron Lancaster.
number 12, Luke Spencer. He replaces number 14, Ilya Illich.
And Lancaster is going to come in for Austin Berry.
For Louisville City, number 9, Cameron Lancaster. He replaces number 22, George Davis IV. Those substitutions are presented by Great Clips. It's gonna be great.
The Louisville substitutions brought to you by Great Clips. Here is the kick. Delbridge got a piece of that, and it's swept away. But more pressure being applied here by Lou City. Smith's got some room to work here. We'll chip in, and it's going to be headed away. And another corner kick coming up. That was Quinn, the substitute, who just came in with a header. Louisville applying a ton of pressure right now. This is dangerous. It's possible Hildebrand got a hand on that one. Now a throw-in coming up. There were so many around the ball that time, but you could see Hildebrand reach into the crowd.
Very much an attacking-minded substitution from Coach O'Connor for Louisville City.
Del Piccolo off of Ownby, and it's going to be cleared away by FC Cincinnati.
FC Cincinnati substitution entering the match. Number 5 was Aiden Quinn. He replaced number 20, Jimmy McLaughlin.
So McLaughlin out, Aiden Quinn in. '71st minute, and it's been all Louisville lately, but they cannot get into the back of the net.
Just out of bounds, wasn't able to keep it in. It was Lancaster. It goes out for a goal kick to FC Cincinnati.
Quinn has a goal against Louisville this season in that 1-1 draw in USL play. This is the second league meeting between these sides, the third of the year. They met in the US Open Cup, and FC Cincinnati earned a 1-0 victory there. GB with a header. No help, though, in White. And August 12th, these sides will rematch at Slugger Field. Ball through here, almost. A lot of creativity. Ballard was nearly recipient of a perfect pass. And that will belong to Louisville. So Cincinnati has gone into kind of a defensive shell here at the moment, with GB really the only threat. Now, that's a pretty big threat, but still, they seem pretty content with this lead.
Kentucky Lottery lucky fans of the month, Daniel Buckingham and Allie Mills.
Del Piccolo.
Special prize pack.
That's a tough fall right there.
$3 billion in scholarships to students in Kentucky.
Taken by Spencer Smith.
Funding education.
Del Piccolo crossing in, and Spencer perhaps the intended recipient there, but it's going to be a goal kick for Hildebrand.
A little bit two minds there was Del Piccolo, whether to play it into Spencer or out wide on the flank. So Lancaster is out on that area, or maybe even Ballard if he's still out there on that flank. In the end, it was all rather undecided and ineffective from the captain of Louisville City.
Bone breaking away. Now this is Andrew Wiedemann looking to get it to GB. And he attracts a lot of attention and is pushed aside by Kyle Smith and left in the dirt, literally.
Much to the enjoyment of the Louisville City fans.
And we're backward. Seems like we've spent the last 10 minutes of this half in Cincinnati territory. Constant pressure right now. Craig with it. Del Piccolo now to Spencer, who's come on as a substitute for Illich, who had the goal for Louisville on a PK. Cross here, a little low. And we're going to get another corner kick.
Well, this might be the way the game goes for the last 17 minutes or so, because, again, FC Cincinnati, they just keep sucking back into their defensive half, and they're getting deeper and deeper defensively. Only GB is the only outfield player who's ahead of the ball at any one time.
And even he's come down to join the fray on this kick from Del Piccolo. Into traffic, headed away easily. Throw in coming in. Fans, you can stay up to date on the latest USL news and information from around the league by tuning in to USL Coast to Coast with Mike Watts, Mondays at 7 Eastern on Sirius XM-FC, channel 85. And don't forget, Sirius XM-FC will also air the USL Game of the Week. Go to USLsoccer.com for dates and times. With Matt Stubbington, Dave Lamont, Slugger Field, Louisville, 2-1, FC Cincinnati in the River Cities Cup. Little chip here. Headed on, still free, and Hildebrandt will find it. Spencer came in late. Ownby got a piece of it, just not hard enough, and Hildebrandt hangs on.
Smart play from Ownby. Again, the ball just chipped over the top. Little header from Ownby. Saw the rush of Spencer into the penalty area, and Hildebrandt was able to keep the calm head and collect the ball cleanly.
All that happened in front of him, and he kept his cool. But the attacking continues. And can Cincinnati sustain this defense? Because the pressure is almost nonstop. They'll try again too much. Goal kick coming up. That will certainly help.
Fans, it's now time to vote for today's
So each side has one substitution remaining. And Koenig will come in for GB.
Vote now for man of the match.
Koenig began the year with OKC's energy. He had a great year with them a couple of years ago, and he was traded for Andy Craven, who had been with OKC before and is now back and doing very well for the Greens. So GB leads with a goal, his 10th of the season, and Koenig will come on. He's also a very good goal scorer.
A different type of player from GB. Equally as effective as a target for his teammates. Not quite as fleet as foot as the number 9.
Fourth official trying to hustle Koenig out there. GB took what seemed like a victory lap around the pitch at Slugger Field, making sure that he waved to the Cincinnati fans who made the trip. Josu. Oh, and it gets through. Shot. Oh, a diving save, and the rebound is put in by Koenig. He's on the field for a minute, and it's 3-1 Cincinnati.
Coach Couch looks like an absolute genius. The super sub Koenig comes onto the field and puts the ball in the back of the net with his first touch. Again, it's that man, Josu, a delightful ball across the pitch. It was his ball that initially led to the corner kick that he got the assist on the second goal. Look at that flighted ball. The shot comes in, and there's Koenig framing the goal beautifully well. The shot was saved from Wiedemann. Rajat Singh couldn't hang on to it. And for his 5th goal of the season, Koenig puts it in the back of the net.
I don't know if he's ever scored a goal that quickly, either starting a game or coming in as a substitute. And now coming through Ownby, and he takes a tough tackle from the big defender, Delbridge. And now the referee having to get in as Ownby thought perhaps he should have drawn a PK, which he's already done once today. And now the referee trying to gain control of a match that may start to get emotional. This is something that James O'Connor talked about in the Louisville media. Keeping our cool, maintaining and managing our emotions. Very important not to get caught up in this as a rivalry.
Well, the frustration boiling over for Louisville City. They've had so much possession in this second half, so many attacks without having any luck breaching the net.
And you saw the captain, Paolo Del Piccolo, get hit with a yellow card. And the referee was actually a little angry about it. I don't know, I couldn't read his lips, but perhaps I shouldn't have.
I think Del Piccolo talked himself into the referee's book on that occasion. Hit on the counterattack twice have been Louisville City, so the frustration is very high for them.
Lost in this ball, by the way, is Josu having to come out. And remember, he took that fall before, and we thought that he may have hit his wrist hard or had his wrist stepped on. And now he's having trouble with that left arm. So Ownby cleared out. He started it, but he left. And then it ended up that Del Piccolo carried it a little bit too far in the referee's opinion.
Well, it looked like there was a coming together of the two players, and whether the injury to the left arm happened within the initial contact of the run of play, I couldn't tell, or whether it happened after the fact. It certainly seemed very innocuous, the little contact that they had before Ownby left the situation, and wisely so.
Yeah, he was clever about that. I give him credit. And he has to be frustrated because I'm sure in his mind he thought maybe I can get a PK here, taken down and around the box, in the box. Josu, by the way, back on very quickly to the game. But he also was smart enough not to escalate it. Others did, and that cost a yellow. The third of the match against Lou City. One substitution still available for Lou City if O'Connor chooses to use it. Cincinnati has used their 3. And that's going to be straight through too far. If Cincinnati can hang on, that'll be a 7th win on the year.
Presented by Hometown Pizza. Is 11,632.
And you can hear 11,632.
That's a new attendance record for Louisville City FC.
And congratulations to the fans from both sides.
Who made it out to Slugger Field tonight.
And I can only imagine how the August 12th rematch at Slugger might even break that record.
It wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. There's no love lost between these two teams. It's been a great match tonight. Well, the home fans will be very disappointed with the scoreline as it sits at this moment in time, but it's not for want of trying from the home team. They've had so much of the attack in this second half. The FC Cincinnati have been able to hold their own defensively.
And they withstood about 10 minutes, it seemed to be, and I didn't run a clock on it, but near constant pressure from Lou City. And more could be coming on the way. Ownby bumped off the ball by Josu cleanly. Well, he has really had an impact in this game. I was looking at Twitter at halftime, and some of the FC Cincinnati fans were mourning the loss of Polak, but Josu has come in and has been fantastic.
I think somebody needs to be carrying his equipment bag to the bus tonight. When he cleared that ball off the goal line in the first half, he got the assist on both the goals in the second half. Well, they'll be credited with the assist on the third goal, but he should be, because it was his crossfield pass that led to the shot from Wiedemann.
Ball through here, though, and a little bit of danger, but there's Josu again. Quick. That's the first thing you notice when you see him play. And works well in a crowd.
Ambitious crossfield pass from Craig, trying to find Ballard.
That's just a little bit too much there. And Koenig, who scored, hadn't even broken a sweat yet when he was able to smack home a rebound and make it 3-1 for FC Cincinnati. Now that looked a little cheap. Koenig arguing about it, but it looked like he did take down the Louisville player.
The way he has an argument about that, definitely looked like a foul.
Now at this point, why draw the attention of the referee, who's certainly been liberal with yellow cards tonight? We've had 4. and you're winning. Why do anything to take away from what your team is doing?
I completely agree with you. And if you are able to talk yourself into the referee's book, you just add time on to the end of the game. That's not something you want when you're up 3-1.
Well, you go back to the first half, the play by Josu that kept Ownby from scoring a goal. That would have been a second goal for Lou City, and that's just one of the plays. We didn't want to forget about that here in the second half, but that's going to end up being as big a play as we've seen in the entire match.
I mean, absolutely. I mean, at that point, if he doesn't make that play, the score's 2-1 and a different complexion on the game.
Ownby putting a little pressure on, forcing a clear into the crowd by Barry.
Referee indicating it clipped Ownby on the way out, so it'll be a throw in to FC Cincinnati.
And Koenig forechecking a little bit. To Smith. They'll switch and come in from try to come in from a different side. And Louisville has spent so much time. They're controlling possession by just about 60 to 40%. But they have not been able to score in this half. Del Piccolo could get a strike here. Now they'll go wide to Smith. Chipped into traffic. Big collision. Ownby got a piece of it with his head on the first try. A little slow to get up, but helped up. Good sportsmanship from the FC Cincinnati defense in the 86th minute.
As physical as this game has been, and the rivalry between these two clubs has been moments of great sportsmanship, and you see Barry there helping up Ownby. Again, respect between the players is fantastic to see. One thing I would like to see Louisville City do with FC Cincinnati dropping so deep, they have to be able to play the ball a little bit quicker. If you take an extra touch on the ball, it just allows your opposition to close down the passing lanes even more so than they have been doing. So switching the point of attack quickly is going to be key for Louisville City if they're going to find a way to get back into this game.
Only two teams have beaten Louisville this season, the Rowdies and Harrisburg. That's it. And nobody has beaten Louisville this year at Slugger.
You see right there, too many touches on the ball allows FC Cincinnati to get and maintain their defensive shape. And in the end, it's an innocuous chip pass over the top that goes straight into the hands of Hildebrand, and he'll use every inch of his 18-yard box to waste as much time as he possibly can.
Cincinnati trying for a 7th win and to hand Louisville just a 3rd defeat on the season. And we're inching ever closer to that. A couple of minutes of stoppage time, no doubt.
It'll be interesting to see how much time is added. We had a couple of injuries in the second half and substitutions as well. It wouldn't surprise me to see 4, maybe 5 minutes.
Yeah, 2 yellows in addition. Bone and Del Piccolo received cautions. Yeah, 3 or 4 seems definite. I think 4 is a good guess.
I'm enjoying the game. Maybe I'm hoping for 5 just to keep it going a little bit longer.
It's been entertaining. There's no doubt about that. We've seen some great goaltending. We've also seen some beautiful goals and some great opportunities, some near hits, near goals for both sides. More pressure into the box, chipped in, and Josu is the closest player to it. And a possession will go to the blue and orange.
Smith tried to save it from going out for the goal kick, was unable to do so. The cross was just too generous on the power there. All the runs went forward to the near post and the ball went to the back post. Pretty much the story for Louisville City in this second half as the Cincinnati team have condensed things into their defensive half. Louisville City just haven't found that killer blow in their attacking third.
Well, for Louisville City, what they were hoping to do was vault past Charlotte to go into second place. They needed 3 points to do that. Cincinnati, with 27, can make a significant move. As a matter of fact, Cincinnati would move past Louisville with 3 points. However, there are 3 games that Louisville has in hand on FC Cincinnati. This is the 20th game of the season for Cincinnati.
It's incredible that there's such a disparity in the amount of games that have been played throughout the league. Of course, you have teams playing in the US Open Cup and taking away from their availability. It's surprising that there's such a change.
Let me correct something here, that Cincinnati would have 27 points, not 30. They had 24 coming in, so they would strengthen their playoff position, but they would not vault past Louisville, who would hold at 29 points.
Ball targeted Spencer in the front line. Wasn't able to get his head onto it, but wins the corner kick for Louisville.
And one more math error. This is game number 19 for Cincinnati. And, you know, it's going to be a quick bus ride back to Ohio for those who took the buses down, and for those who just jumped in their cars. It was well worth the trip. Still plenty of time to hit up the local grocery store for some Grater's ice cream to celebrate.
I was wondering if they were going to try and stop the bus at a watering hole on the way back.
Well, there's a few of those you could go to also. You don't even have to leave the state of Kentucky for that. Go to Covington and have yourself a good time. So you saw we're down to about 90 seconds remaining in what appears to be the 7th victory of the season for FC Cincinnati.
FC Cincinnati trying to get it to the corner flag to waste some time, and Walker wasn't able to do that, and Ranjit Singh will take the ensuing goal kick.
And that will belong. A corner kick coming up. It's going to make anybody nervous if you're Cincinnati. And Hildebrand directing traffic. Everybody coming down. Flicked on. In traffic. And it gets through. I don't know how, but it got through.
Well, Spencer went up for the initial header, but other than that, I'm not sure that that touched another purple shirt on the way in. There's Spencer with the initial header. It comes off of number 23 for FC Cincinnati, I think. That's Wiedemann. That might have been an own goal.
That is a Lou City goal brought to you by Kentucky Lottery, fueling imagination, funding education, Kentucky Lottery. But there's the whistle And Cincinnati will hang on 3-2. A zany finish, to say the least. So FC Cincinnati in front of a record crowd at Slugger Field for USL play defeats the home squad tonight 3-2. A very late goal in the waning seconds of the match does not change the outcome. A big 3 points for FC Cincinnati.
Goal scored by Ilya Illich.
We'll have the highlights of what ended up being a very high-scoring match. And the 3 points heading to Ohio. 3-2, FC Cincinnati, the winner over Lou City.
At Raising Cane's, we do one thing.
I don't think
and we do it better than anyone else. So why not let our food do the talking?
Love in the window.
Raising Cane's, only the best chicken finger meals. One love.
Pizza, beer, sports. A great combination. Join other sports fans at Boomba's Pizza and Tap House in Louisville, where you'll find what Food Network says is the best pizza in Kentucky. Incredible game day and social hour specials starting at just $2. With an award-winning menu and one of City's best local craft beer list. Just one bite, and we know you'll love it so much, you'll come back time and time again at Boomba's Pizza and Tap House, your social sports destination.
When my hair is too long, I don't feel right. But when I get a cut, I'm me again, only better. My tattoo gets feistier. My crazy eye snaps to attention. I become my own Wi-Fi hotspot.
I just downloaded the entire internet.
And trust falls? They don't even scare me anymore.
That pomade really broke my fall.
Get in, get out, back to greatness. Download the online check-in app. Great clips. It's gonna be great.
Well, my eagle-eyed partner, Matt Stubbington, was correct. That final goal was indeed an own goal assigned to Wiedemann, but ultimately, it'll be something to laugh about later on the way home because FC Cincinnati gets the win as they cheer on their supporters that made the trip. 3-2 over at Louisville City. It's the first home loss for Lou City at Slugger this year, and they did it in front of a record crowd. 11,632 saw this match, which is wonderful news for the game in the city itself. It's an unfortunate result for the side, of course, to come up short, but fans certainly had to be entertained, and hopefully they'll be back. Particularly, start marking your calendars, put it in your phones. August 12th, the rematch for these sides again in Louisville.
Oh, it was a fantastic game, a treat for both sets of fans, especially if you're a neutral and especially if you're an FC Cincinnati fan. But some great soccer played by both squads tonight and some good sportsmanship. It's just a great rivalry game and certainly lived up to the billing.
GB got things started for FC Cincinnati with his 10th goal of the season, but Louisville City was on the board first on a penalty kick as we take you through the highlights of this River Cities Cup derby.
Well, we highlighted Omby in the pregame, and this is why he's so dangerous in the attacking third, penetrating into the penalty area, crosses the ball, it comes off the hand of the defender Delbridge, and a penalty kick is awarded to Louisville City. And how about this for cheeky? There's Illich. You better put that one in the back of the net if you're going to do that. And that's exactly what Illich did. Hildebrand had chosen to go to his right. The ball went to his left and into the back of the net.
That sent the smoke off, but that sign was not correct because GB would indeed bite.
Well, he did it this time with his feet. The goalkeeper makes a mistake, and GB makes him pay. Patience in the box to let that ball fall to his ground and allow himself to spin and get that ball on target. And then this was perhaps the moment of the first half and perhaps of the game as Josu came on in place of the injured Pollak, clears that ball off the line. And there's the save of the game. Ranjit Singh making amends for his earlier mistake with a beautiful save.
And that is our save of the game, brought to you by MagnaWave, the leader in pulsed electromagnetic field therapy.
And Josu was not done in the second half. He has the cross that leads to the corner kick, and then has the cross off of the corner kick that meets the head of Delbridge, who puts it in at the far post for the go-ahead goal for FC Cincinnati.
That was Delbridge's second tally on the year. But the pressure continued all through. A nasty little strike right there that just went wide. And for about 10-15 minutes, it seemed like the entire game was played in only half of the pitch.
Oh, this one from Davis the fourth. And as the game progressed, FC Cincinnati just dropped off defensively, picking up the pressure in their own half. And that allowed the space.
And within a minute, Koenig comes on for GB, who hadn't even sat down yet. And he is actually the first person to celebrate. What a ball from Josu. Wiedemann fires a rocket. Koenig is able to put away the rebound. And that ended up being the difference in the match as he celebrates with GB. 3-1 at that point. But the scoring was not concluded yet.
Well, the last kick of the game fell to the foot of Wiedemann as he just turns it in the back of the net off the header from Spencer. An own goal for Wiedemann, but he's allowed to go home to Ohio and spare his blushes as his team is victorious tonight.
And the match ended within seconds after that, despite the best efforts of Lou City to hustle back and get going. And take a look at the final stats. Shots, a 2-1 advantage for Lou City. On target, equal possession. Not surprising to see that dominated by Lou City. However, the only stat that matters is the top of the page, 3-2 in goals.
It was 3-2 in goals, and FC Cincinnati did a great job of hitting Lou City on the counterattack. And as they descended defensively and inviting the pressure on, that's why we see so much possession in favor of Louisville City, but they just couldn't make it pay in the end.
So big win for FC Cincinnati. It makes them 7 wins, 6 draws, and 6 defeats, and just the first loss at home for Lou City this season. Only their 3rd loss of the year. They're still in very good shape for the playoffs. That drum will come back in action next time. And again, very much look forward to that August 12th match. Should be a vicious rematch between these two sides, part of the River Cities Cup. For Louisville City, their next game will be at St. Louis FC, 8:30 p.m. Eastern starting time. For both Matt Stubbington and Matt Bennington and our entire crew, I'm Dave Lamont. Thank you for watching the USL Final for the final time. FC Cincinnati 3 and Lou City 2.
Telecast of the United. This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent from the United Soccer League.